Hello everyone, welcome to History Optional Ancient History lecture number 2. So in the last lecture we discussed about the historiography, the definition given by the E.H. Carr and the about the history. Now we are talking about the sources with respect to historiography. So what is a source? Source means it is the base to write the history. Like if you will say this Harappan people used this kind of pottery, then you need to have evidences of that particular pottery. So that pottery is your source. Let me tell you, you told that Balban's theory of kingship, about the Balban's theory of kingship. Then about that Balban's theory of kingship, there is a book or something in writing. So that according to that you said that Balban has the theory of kingship like this. So the sources are the base to writing the history. So when we consider a particular matter as a source, then it should have going through three processes. Like first it be selection, like selection of sources, evaluation, that source is going to fit in our history writing or not, that is the evaluation part, and the last one is interpretation. I will elaborate all of this, don't worry. So if we talk about the if we talk about the selection process of the sources, then we have to choose. There are too much sources in the history. Historical events, we need to choose some particular important process or events so that we can define our sources properly. Now coming to evaluation part, see, historians are quite biased to their prejudices, to their society, etc. So they evaluate or write the sources in their way. Let me give an example, not about historians, about some books. If a person in the king's court writing history about that king, right, writing a book about that king, and we are using that book as for sources for history writing. So what we will do, we will first evaluate what this person is writing. Is he praising the king? Is he showing the king as god, something else? Then this cannot be used as the history. So this is the part of evaluation, right? The next is interpretation part. So sources interpretation, to speak them is very important for a historian. Like there is a source, that is a particular object, particular matter, particular writing. For using this as a source, we need to evaluate it. Like give me an example. If we talk about Gautami Putra Satkarani, right? He is a person, but see the name. There is a mother's name attached to that particular person's name in history. So some historians concluding that is the matriarchal society. Some historians are concluding that interpreted in the form that it is the tribal culture. That debate we will see in the future, but understand the interpretation part of the sources. Now see what is the important for this. So for a source we need to all the positive part of the source and negative part of the source, we should aware of it, and then write the historiography from that particular source. So you cannot say one historian may be neutral, because historians has its own biases. Historians interpret the source in its own way. Many factors affect the historian's history writing, like the society at that point of time. So if I tell you, in the 17th and 18th century, if the Europeans or the West writing some history about India or Africa, what they will write? They will write in the racist point of view. If he is a racist historian and he has some racist value, so he will write in the racist point of view, like Asians, Africans are the inferior, so inferior races. They don't have, they are not civilized, etc. So this is the thing. Society at that time matters a much. Also the political narratives. Let me give another example. So what happened, that Britishers when they came to India and started writing the history of India, so you will be highly surprised that majorly history of India in the time of 18th, 19th century, 20th century beginning was majorly written by the British historians. So they are called Orientalist and the Imperialist, etc. But while if we will discuss about those school of historiography, don't worry. If we talk about particular these British historians, they will write in the way that their political agenda will be suited for it. Like they had to so the British rule over India is just and right. So they will write in favor history in the favor of Britishers. Like Indians are uncivilized, Indians are uncivilized. So Britishers from West are have the right to rule over India and make it civilized. This is the political narratives over the historian. Now upbringing of the historians matters him must. Means is he a person from Syria or a person from Afghanistan wrote history, a person from America, a person from India wrote history. What the difference you will find? So upbringing environment matters most, and the schools he believed. Various schools in the history is there like Marxist school, nationalist school, imperialist school, subaltern school, etc. We will discuss. So which ideology he subscribed, according to that his history writing will be differs from other historians. Like R.S. Sharma is a Marxist historian. It's like this you can say the schools of historiography will affect the historians. Now there are some about this thing, some historian give particular statement. Like there is a historian R.G. Collingwood. R.G. Collingwood told that all history is the history of thoughts. You understand that particular statement? Please write simultaneously with me. See, all history is the history of thoughts. That the thinking of the historian, we are reading the thinking of the historians. That is the history for us. What the historian think about the source. This is the history. And another historian is there, Keith. He told, when we were studying history, we are not studying the past. We were not studying the past. We are studying interpretations of historians. Clear? Now, so this is all about sources of historiography. So one another topic, major topic is there. Let me talk about. Okay, let me tell you another major concept is the historical causation. About this, let me give an example, then I will define this term. See, there was, let me go back to 200-300 years ago. Imagine you are in 200-300 years ago. You are drinking tea on a tea shop, right? And after drinking tea, you are crossing the road, right? Somewhere what happened? There is a person B on the bike came. This is the bike. I have a very bad drawing. So he is coming at you in a very speed. His bike is in a very speed. So what he did? He collide his bike onto you. So if this particular event is we are writing in history, we know this particular event, right? So we are just writing the bike has collided with that pot with you, right? But think about it. Maybe the road has holes. Maybe the driver is drunk. We don't know about it. Maybe the bike has a puncture. Maybe there is a truck coming here, so the bike suddenly move away from that and going and collide with you. Maybe many causes are there. So just historical causation means just knowing the event We cannot write history. We need to know the particular causes, many causes. We need to think, okay, this can be happen, this can be happen, what is the evidence if this can happen. So this is what called historical causation. So okay, these are the basic things to know about history, historiography and history writing. From the next class we will going to start the Indian history writing. Thank you.